What's up, YouTube? Homegrown Big coming back at you with another edition of Vegan Mouth Sores. It actually pains me to have to do these videos. The reason why I do is because I feel a responsibility to people who followed me into veganism and contacted me with having problems. I also feel a responsibility to present the observational data for vegan leaders who are presenting as ultra healthy, ultra athletes, when the observational data shows that that really might not be the case. So there is a falsehood in the way that they're presenting versus the way that they're presenting. For me, this is also kind of a painful revisiting my vegan past. I regularly had angular colitis, as did several friends of mine who are vegan, who are now ex-vegans. And before I go any further, let me just say that yes, you can get angular colitis on other diets. However, it is rampant in the vegan community. And I went into it a little bit more in detail in the other two videos I did. I'll link in the info section. But the bottom line is it can happen from a candida outgrowth, and it can happen from B and iron deficiencies, which are also rather rampant in the vegan community. Now, when I had angular colitis, I tried very hard to supplement with stress B complex, and that did help a little bit, but it didn't get rid of it entirely. It didn't go away entirely until I went on animal products. Why that is, I can't tell you. That's just what happened to me. That was my experience. Let's get into this. Alright, Patrick is a well-known vegan. He was a strongman. He was a bodybuilder, and he has, let's just give some details now. He's been a vegetarian since 2005. 2 years later, in 2007, he started competing as a strongman. In 2011, he won Germany's Strongest Man, and he has been a vegan since 2011. He got a couple of world records in yoke walk in 2013 and 2015. He has now been a vegan for just over around 6 years. Now, I have been following Patrick for a very long time. He is one of the people that totally inspired me to jump into vegan weight training back in about 2013. And I was so enamored with what he stood for and just how strong he was. And he is and has been a very phenomenal strength athlete. So not to discredit his efforts, but let's take a look at what's been going on for him since he was a vegan. So I recently caught up on his social media. He's got a new book out. I notice, I don't know how new it is, but it's within the last couple of years, that he used a photo on the cover from when he wasn't a vegan. So that's interesting. So I'm not sure why he didn't use this photo, which was quite recent, but he chose to use this other one. So right there, we're starting to see, which is part of my thing with veganism, of using falsehoods to promote your diet. So he's using a photo from when he wasn't a vegan. I'm not even sure if he was a vegetarian there, probably, but he's using it to promote veganism. So let's move on. Here we have him, some social media photo, and I started noticing that right away that he had signs of angular colitis. Let's take a look at this up close. So this type of skin trying to heal over in the corner of the mouth, and then this kind of crease coming up, that is a sign of angular colitis. Looks like it was healed up a little bit here. It's not super inflamed at this point, but this photo made me go, I wonder what else is on his social media, because I hadn't looked in so long. So let's see what else was there. Okay, so all I did was go to his Instagram and started thumbing through the most recent photos, and I was kind of shocked at how many came up with angular colitis. So there's this one, maybe after the gym or something. Zoomed in, yep, on the corner there, kind of covered up by facial hair. Then we look at the next one, some sort of airport selfie, kind of angling his head to the side, maybe to try to cover it up a little. Nope, there it is, definitely looking inflamed. Here we have a little photo with his sweetie. Didn't try to cover that one up too much. Ouch, that looks pretty bad. Maybe some herpes mixed in, hard to say. But certainly not a lot of making out going on, because that crap hurts. Another photo, same thing, kind of tucking his mouth into the side. Boom, there it is again. Looks like he has it more to one side than the other, and that's pretty typical. Here we have a gym shot. Zoomed in. Oh yeah, still there. Maybe a cold sore on the front of his mouth there. Here's another one. Wow, this one, it's creeping all the way down his face. This is a pretty advanced case. Maybe shaving's making it worse. Hard to say. I had a friend who had very, very intense case. It went all the way down to her mouth. Very painful for her. I can only imagine the kind of suffering that Patrick is also experiencing. Here's another one with his sweetie at the airport again. Ow, still there. Poor guy. Another one here with the facial hair, but nope, we see that raised spot in the corner of his mouth. Owie, that looks painful. And another selfie. This one looks like he kind of tried to change the color a little bit, so I added some reds back in. Wow, really, that's creeping down the mouth pretty bad. Oh, here's another one. Oh wait, he's got spinach covering up that side of his mouth. Alright, so, here we see that he's posted this thing to social media, vegan 6 years, 2 months, and still waiting for protein deficiency. Maybe the issue isn't protein, Patrick. Maybe it's B vitamins and iron. Maybe it has something else to do with how you're eating. Let's take a look at that. So here we see this advertisement saying that Patrick is the strongest man in the world, and that he's a whole food vegan. I've seen other things that say that world's strongest man says he's a vegan. For the record, this is actually the world's strongest man. It's Eddie Hall. Patrick in one world strongman competition came in 14th, which for his size at 5'7" is highly commendable. He has world records. He's not the world's strongest man. Now, I've seen a lot of people saying that he is a Whole Foods vegan, so let's take a look at his Instagram food photos. Oh, nope, here's processed meat patty. Here's more processed meat analog thing. I'm seeing that the foods look fried, filled with fat. When you're mixing the fat and carbs, maybe there's some candida stuff going on there. Hard to say. Oh, look, here's more meat analog and starches with fat. Here's some processed protein stuff. Here's more fake meats. Oh, more fake meats and crinkle cut French fries. What the hell is that? I don't know. Definitely processed food. Definitely not whole food. Again, more fake meat and starches and fat. So, maybe somebody can help him with his diet. I feel that he's probably eating so many meat analogs because he's craving the actual thing. This happens to a lot of vegans at the end of their journey. They start out, some who start out being very high raw vegan, like myself, then move into whole food starch vegan, and then over time gravitate towards the things that replicate the meat and dairy that they're missing, that their body's craving to get those B vitamins, to get the iron, to get the preformed nutrients and the preformed fats. That's a very typical journey. Maybe that's causing him some candida, I can't say. But let's take a look at one last thing before I finish this video here. One of his favorite quotes for the reason why he eats a vegan diet is that the strongest animals in the world are herbivores. So elephants, gorillas, rhinos, these kind of things. Animals that have physiology not anywhere close to human beings, but they are strong per size. But I did a little bit of searching on that because I wondered if the world's strongest animal actually was an herbivore. And in fact, it's not. The world's strongest per mass ratio animal happens to be the dung beetle. So if we're going to use that kind of logic, we should all be eating shit. That is a logic fail. So there you have it. This goes back to what I've said over and over again about certain vegan leaders presenting in one way but showing another thing is happening. This is super common, and I think that Patrick exemplifies kind of the vegan journey where a lot of vegans do extremely well in the first couple of years, as you can see by the records that he set in his first year, 2011. He did well in competitions up into his second and third year, still setting records. And then in the last couple of years, not really being terribly competitive or showing new record setting. I look at that and I look at strength athletes in the type of competitions that he does. And these athletes are competing very competitively, 30s to late 30s, where he's at, and then continuing to be competitive at a very high level into the early 40s. He's not showing that competition. I'm sure he has his personal reasons. Who can say what it is? I don't know the guy. But I suspect that based on when you start to see these problems like angular colitis, there are systemic issues going on. And, Patrick, if you see this, I wish you the best, man. I hope that you find some better comprehensive nutrition, and whether that means that you are really sold on veganism and you have to find some supplementing, or you have to get off the greasy meat analog starch combination. I don't know, I can't say, but I sincerely only wish you the best. You were at one point a great inspiration for me. The most inspiring thing for me at this point is honesty. So I hope that you can be honest with yourself first and others second. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.